with B-Bad and Brandon.
Food dietaries, right?
Oh, yeah, you do too. I do know that actually because of your dietaries that you sent through. Okay, maybe don't go to Jocelyn's provision.
Oh, yeah, I feel like it'll just be depressing because I'll be like, this seems like a great time
Not for
that
you.
I won't experience.
Yeah,
I can talk you through it. I can tell you how good
Oh,
time it is.
please? I want a note by note, a play by play.
Yeah.
It's actually, I've
I love
gotten a lot
bakery.
of cakes from there over the years.
They make a hell of a cake.
Fucking oath they do. I mean,
Cake to order.
yeah, you can do a cake to order and like put all your dietaries in there.
Yeah, they probably could.
They're really good. It's worth it.
They could cake you, probably.
Yeah.
They do like everything. Anyways, well, we won't give you our list of bakeries to go to. Jesus,
We'll do a bakery podcast.
imagine if we did.
In a bakery.
Johnny's a very good baker.
I
No,
love-
like
I like eating the bakery.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Same.
No, you can cook though.
Yeah, I can.
Do you bake though?
I could. Could.
Have you?
Not any time recently.
Yeah, I thought so.
Are you like the head chef in the household? I assume you have a kid and you don't just have a lot of little prams for yourself.
Well, it's a big assumption.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Look,
whatever your
I've got-
proclivities are.
on Sundays, I have a day off, and me and the lads like to play dollies. So
Well, yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to make assumptions.
yes, I have a 2.5-year-old,
Oh,
which is super cute. Depending on when we finish, and that when they come home, you might get to meet her.
cool.
Normally, she knows that we're podcasting, so if they get home before nap, she'll run through.
Yeah.
She's actually a really good host of the potty.
Yeah, she did our sound test yesterday.
It's so cute.
I've got her trained up. So on a Thursday, I normally clean this room up.
Yeah.
Because it's just clothes and stuff from the week. And she helps me put the coat hangers on the shirts. She knows that's a job and she likes doing the hangers. She's like, hangers. And then she knows we test the mics.
Cool.
So, and she knows that to do that, we go, hello, hello, hello. So she works all the
Yeah.
mics
It's really cute.
and does
Sick.
that while I do the audio test and record.
That's so good.
It's so cute.
That is awesome.
And she's getting real chatty now too. Like she's
Super chatty.
oh
Yeah.
man,
You can have full chats. And to the point where like she wants to talk with you. So like if you or me are talking, she's in the room and either of us aren't talking to her, she'll go, stop it, Daddy, or stop it, Brando. Talk me, stop it. So like I'll be trying to chat to my wife and she'll go, stop it, talk me.
That's awesome.
All
Which is pretty cute, yeah.
Yeah, that is so cute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that to Niv.
Yeah,
This is my partner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Niv is someone we should also get on the podcast
Let's get
just
Niv
because he is hilarious.
We
He's
need
also
Niv.
very good looking.
Beautiful.
Yep.
And
He and Brandon have a bit of a thing. It's beautiful. I love watching it.
well, I'm just really captivated by Niv.
Aren't we all?
Beautiful.
He is a very beautiful
He's
man.
a beautiful man.
He is
I love it.
very, very beautiful. But we're not here to talk about Niv. This is what happens.
With the Niv podcast.
We'll talk about Niv on the Niv podcast. He's just funny. Because
Awesome.
you guys are both Kiwi?
Neither of us is Kiwi, but we're also both Kiwi.
So that makes no sense to me. So I will ask you a follow-up question of
What does
do
that
you
mean?
Yeah. I was like,
So he is South African. He was
Yeah,
born in
right.
South Africa. His family is South African, but they moved to New Zealand when he was 2.
mhm.
And then he grew up in New Zealand. So he's
Right.
Kiwi in that he mostly grew up in New Zealand. He has a New Zealand passport, but he's also like South African because he's spent
Okay.
a fair bit of time there and
Explains why he likes
he's
rugby
like
so much.
culturally.
What
a bit
rugby
both.
teams he goes for?
All Blacks.
Fair. I don't blame him. But okay, let's wait. So what are you then?
Confused.
Well, aren't we
so,
all?
so my mum's Australian.
Right.
My dad's Kiwi. Me and my brother were born and raised in the States, and then I moved to New Zealand and lived there for 10 years. So
So
like,
that's why you gotta.
that's why I sound so weird. It's like it's mostly American with like sprinkles of other shit.
I wasn't gonna say weird, but I was like, I
That's
heard.
a cool accent.
Yeah,
Hey, thanks.
it's like
That's better
it's a
than
good
just-
blend.
It's real funny though because people can never figure it out. They're like, your vowels are weird. There's a hard R. Like, what's going on? But
Well, my housemate Sam at Epic Night's like, she's American. I'm like, no, dude, she's from Kiwi land. Like, she's Kiwi.
He's like, no
He's
way.
like, no, that's an American accent.
I've been internalizing for the last 5 minutes trying to work out your accent.
oh, there you go. I should have made you
wow.
guess. I love doing the
So
guessing
you
game.
sounded Kiwi then.
Yeah, the vowels.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Fish
So
and-
what?
Fish
You were
and chips,
born.
bro.
You say fish and chips.
Fish and chips, bro.
You were born here.
No.
You were born. Sorry,
In the States.
in the States. Yeah, right.
Sick.
What were your parents doing over there?
My parents went over there on like a 2-year assignment for work, and they're still there.
Oh, wow.
So
What do they do?
things changed. My dad works in like, I would call it communications for biotech.
Yeah, right.
We need to get him on
Sure.
the podcast.
Go-
I
go
didn't know
for
what
it.
biotech.
That sounds sick.
I don't really understand what's biotech.
Think like pharmaceuticals and medical devices and stuff that advances the medical field, but isn't necessarily just like stuff that you use in a hospital. So like research and development
wow.
for medical products, medical things
man.
like that.
That's hectic.
Wow.
Yeah, but he does all the like marketing-y fluffy stuff around it. So he does
Oh.
like strategic thing and storytelling for biotech companies. He has his own business,
Yeah,
but he
right.
contracts to biotech companies.
Oh.
Cool.
You know, I just
Yeah.
realized that we didn't even introduce you on the potty.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
hey.
don't even know who this is.
Yeah, I was like,
It's just
fuck,
some
what do
bitch
we-
that showed up.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was supposed to be Brandon and this girl walked in. Like,
She's here too. Grabbed her in the
she
stairwell.
made jokes
Said,
about my pram.
Come
the
in here.
fuck?
I saw her walking down the street, and I was like, hey, I
you'll
don't
was
think
like,
I
oh
recognize
fuck,
you.
her calves. She must train. We'll bring her in.
Bro, have you seen those calves? No, they're huge.
Tucking mine back out of shot.
If I go on, still nothing.
No.
But okay, so what I saw her on the street, and I was like, hey, that's AnnaWishFitness from Instagram.
From the internet.
Whoa, from the
Whoa.
I
internet.
was like, that's that Instagram influencer.
Fuck.
So then I was like, well, that's what you are essentially. Like,
Mm.
may not like the labels.
See, I
But-
always have beef with this because to me,
Yeah.
an influencer gets paid for their content.
Oh,
I get paid for the services,
that you.
and I make content about those things.
Mm.
I don't get paid for the content that I create.
That's a fair point. But your content is
But you are influencing people.
Mostly
yeah,
Brandon.
true. I did catch your latest post. There was an error, and I was like,
Yeah,
hey,
and you fixed it for me.
because I was like 25th of January.
Why are you posting about it now?
Yeah, I'm like, bro, because I went back. I was like, maybe I missed it, and it's like you posted last week or something.
No.
And then I was like,
No,
she
you're just an
definitely
idiot.
got the date wrong.
And,
Yeah,
like, you were right.
but she got a hand. We'll talk about that. We don't really have a plan on the potty, so it just goes everywhere.
Mm.
Cool.
Who you are and what do you do?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
21 words.
Fuck.
That's all you get.
21 words.
And then the
Yeah.
podcast is over.
Okay.
Brandon will count the words.
I'll do my best to.
I'm Anna Wish. I coach gymnastics and strength stuff.
That's 9.
Um,
That's 10. That's 11.
Oh, careful with the noises.
I
We'll try them.
like training lots of stuff,
17.
and it's real fun. That's
Sick.
21, isn't it?
No, that was 20, but we'll take it.
20's good.
20's good.
Most of it was meaningless, but that's okay.
Not really. You had a good flow, and then you could see the peak anxiety, and then it was
Yeah.
like,
Then we're coming back down.
and then it was like 17. You're like, fuck, I got to finish this off.
We're at like
It's real
132 BPM.
Yeah,
Mm.
nice.
Yeah.
How'd you get into coaching gymnastics? Because you're relatively new in the industry, as I recently found out.
Mostly by accident. So I did do gymnastics when I was a little kid,
Mhm.
and then a couple of years when I was a teenager, and then I did not much of it at all, and then became a PT in 2020. Yep, 2020, and then I started CrossFit in 2021.
Yeah, wow.
And then after about a year, I was like, "This is sick. I should coach this," and
Mm.
so I did.
Yeah, wow.
You coached the CrossFit or you coached gymnastics?
Well, yes, because CrossFit has a fair bit of gymnastics in it,
Mm.
and I just kind of started making like generic CrossFit content.
Oh,
And the
nice.
gymnastic stuff that I was making was kind of what was like landing. People were like,
Mm.
"Oh, this is different. Like you're explaining this differently to
Mm.
other coaches and creators." And I was like, "Cool, I like this. This is fun."
Mm.
So my audience shoved me in the direction of gymnastics.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, like it was in reverse to how it should have
Wow.
been, but it was great. Like I actually loved doing it, but it was more of like I was just like, "Oh, okay, this is what's working. I'm going to follow that."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, but also this is fun
Mm.
and rewarding."
And gymnastics more for the sport of CrossFit or just general gymnastics?
No, primarily gymnastics for CrossFit.
Yep.
Just because that's what I was making and doing and
Mm.
needing or whatever. And I'm now trying to expand more into like being able to bring some more general gymnastics principles into that. But
Yeah, right.
like with like I'm getting exposed as I'm trying to do that because I
Mm.
haven't been like I'm only just now getting back into a gymnastics gym after years of like not.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like I kind of suck, but also don't.
Mm.
You know, like I like don't
Mm.
know the purest gymnastics things,
right. Yeah.
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
learned the CrossFit things real fast because of that background.
Yeah. Okay.
That's sick.
Why'd you take a break though between like? Cause that's you obviously started as a kid, and it's usually a sport that you see people really stick with for a long while. You took a break, came back, and then took another break.
Yeah.
Any reason why?
We moved when I was a kid.
Oh, right. Okay.
So we moved 3 times in the States, and then I moved to New Zealand. Like I've just like moved around a little bit in my life. So I think I don't remember how old I was. We moved from Minnesota to California. Anyway, it was like an affordability thing, an accessibility thing, like all kinds of things, and I just stopped.
Yeah, wow. And have you just continued on this path of fitness, or do you just found that you were just like 2020 became PT and then jumped back in? Also, was that like 2020 was the year of COVID? You were in New Zealand?
Yeah. So
That's a good time to coach. Would have been heaps of class to train.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I think I started at Les Mills, which is just like a big box gym in New Zealand.
Yep.
Mega gym.
Like maybe 3 or 4 weeks before the first lockdown. Like it was like really short, and then I was just like, oh shit, what do we do? So I was still working my corporate job, so it was fine, like financially, but it was just like, oh, okay, I really have no idea how I'm gonna make this work. And so then I just kind of had a plan for like how I would exit my corporate job and made it work from there.
So Les Mills over there, please correct me if I'm wrong, is it very different to like, because the only Les Mills I know from like here is the group fitness class style. Is that what it is over there?
Yeah, but it's also attached to like a Globo gym. So their thing is the group fitness classes, and that's like what brings people in. They also have a gym floor. So like as PTs, you just rock around and try to find people and be like, does your group fitness plan suck? And then convert them to clients.
Yes.
And sometimes it works.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
They're big that way. I've had clients train over there.
Yeah.
It's like a fitness first.
Oh, right.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've literally only ever known it as the group fitness classes that they brought out over here in all our Globo gyms.
Yeah. Best marketing move they ever made.
Really?
You know, they're the biggest exporter in New Zealand of services because so many gyms buy their whatever it's called, product services.
And now
huge brand. So dairy is the biggest like physical export. Les Mills is the biggest service export, or at least last time I checked my stats, which was probably like 2020. So
I knew dairy was obviously that big physical. Like obviously some of the best protein just comes from their dairy. But fuck me, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I worked in dairy, and then I worked in Les Mills.
Really?
Yeah.
Just living the Kiwi dream.
How was the transition out of corporate life to coaching life?
It was intense because I did it just by working a lot. So I would like go to Les Mills in the morning, coach a couple of clients, then go to my desk job at Fonterra Dairy Company, and then I'd go to the gym at lunch, train myself, go back to work, come back to the gym after work, coach more clients, go home, eat, sleep, repeat.
That's fucking all long days.
So it was just like long days, and I died. But then we kept going to lockdowns and stuff around that. So
how'd you manage that though?
Just by being tired.
Were you working from home?
Not most of the time, no.
Oh, so you were still allowed to go to the... Because again, like, obviously we were stuck.
Oh, do you mean during the lockdown? Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. I was wondering how that all would work. We obviously weren't there. Yeah, right. So that's a hectic work schedule.
Yeah, like it was full on.
Do you find it different now, obviously working for yourself? Do you find that schedule's still as hectic, but in a different way because you're like obviously running your own race?
No, I don't think anything will feel as hectic as that. Because I was also still kind of like recovering my health at that time. Like I wasn't back to full speed where I am now.
Right.
So that was like, it was pretty full on. It was really taxing. So no, I think like every day now, even if I'm having like a busy period, I can still mentally be like, but you know what? It's not worse than like, when I started this job.
That's a good comparison to have because it does make it a bit easier.
Yeah. Like I'm very grateful for that grind because now everything feels comparatively, not that everything always feels breezy, but like you just look back on that and you're like, fuck that. But this is sweet.
Would you change anything
about that journey or like that process?
Do you look back and go, I could have done that better?
Doesn't everyone always?
No, I think in some circumstances, but I think there's some things I look back on and go, no, you did that exactly how you're supposed to. Because like I look back and look, it's a very, I don't want to say common, but you hear like, I know Johnny was still working at Pizza Hut when he first started, weren't you?
Mm-hmm. I was Pizza Hut.
That's right.
We were slinging pizzas.
Sick.
Yeah.
Can you still sling a pizza?
I will tell you, I make the best pizza on this planet.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can you gluten free me?
That'd be tricky. Some of the key ingredients heavily involve the gluten.
Yeah, I know.
But I reckon
Pizza's never been the
I could put a
same.
swing on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
could do a spin on it.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
I'm really keen.
I was going to say, yeah, that's the classic approach into full-time coaching is not leaving home your thing behind you, like
Yes.
transitioning out of it. But there's a period of, let's call it suffering that you have
especially
to do.
in a Globo gym.
Yes.
You have to do both full-time
Yeah.
essentially at some stage, right?
Yeah.
Unless you've got a bankroll behind you to allow you to, but otherwise you have to do, you can't step into the full-time coaching role until it's full-time, but you can't step out of the full-time job role until that's full-time. So you got to do 2 full-times.
Yeah. You need a job or a daddy.
Mm.
Either or.
Mhm.
It's really like
Someone's got to pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just insane though, because I remember working at, like, I was lucky enough to work at supplement stores while transitioning into full-time coaching, which they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And because like the Globo gym I worked at was above the sup store I worked at, it was quite like a good referral. Like, oh yeah, I'm just up here.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, it was really good in that sense, but they still suck those days. Because then when do you train? It's either really early morning or before, after everyone else is training, like fucking 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
What did you do?
When I trained?
Like, did you train?
Yeah, I trained, I'm going to give him a shout out, Sam Bandura. Me and my old training partner, we would train at like 3:30, 4:30 some days of a morning at Good Life Chermside, double scoop and pre-workout. And like, you just wind yourself into the ground, right? And I remember this one day, this is actually quite funny. Well, it's not funny. It's funny now. It wasn't funny at the time, but like, we're incline benching. And I specifically remember it because it was like 100 and I got to like, we had 6 reps to do and I was on the 4th one. I was like, fuck, that's pretty strong. Like back then too, I was pretty small.
Got myself 2 wheels.
Yeah. Literally, I was like, on the incline, this guy. Anyway, so I double scooped or triple scoop pre that morning. 4th rep comes up and I just have this like anxiety attack.
Oh no.
I'm like that wide.
Mid-bench.
Yeah. Like,
Fuck.
I'm like, just, it's not moving. Like something's happened. And all I remember is like looking at Sam and I'm just like, grab it. And he's taking it. And I just walk off and just start crying. And I'm like, and like, this is by now like 5:30. So everyone's walking through the gym. Like you got your morning crew and
Brando just sobbing.
I'm just like uncontrollably sobbing. And at this stage in my life, I didn't know what an anxiety attack was. Like now looking.
Oh, so you didn't even know what was happening.
No, I'm just like, anyways. And then I just like, obviously you like calm down. It's like, nothing's wrong. Oh, and walked back over. And I just remember this other PT who had clearly seen it all just comes up to me, slaps me on the bum and goes, "You're okay, young fella." And I'm like, that was
Wait. How old was this person that they called you young fella?
he was like 35. So I was
Mm.
like, okay. And I'm like maybe 20 at this stage of my life.
That's
It almost
hilarious.
felt as embarrassing as the time I think I've spoken about before when I had like, you know, when you're young, you're benching in the gym, you fail, it lands on your chest, and you just that big roided up guy in the gym comes up, lifts it off one hand and goes, "I got you, little fella." And you're like, okay, well, maybe this gym thing isn't for me.
Yeah. Are you excited to turn 40 and do that to someone?
I did it to someone the other day.
And by that I meant 30.
Actually, I did it to one of the blokes, Sam Shimming. I've done that to you before in the photo, and he's just walked around going, "I've got it, mate. Don't worry." Except I wasn't big and roided up, so.
You look good there.
Thank you. I've been training more. I've been doing Olympic lifting with Anna, actually.
Yo, so we're doing Ollie lifting too?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like,
You going to do CrossFit? Is this an announcement?
No, I want to do an Ollie lifting.
Is this what's happening?
No,
You're
Can
about
you
to say-
actually? Do you want to come do one with me in May?
Are you doing the WOD?
maybe not May. I have been running though. This is probably a safe
live in the
space.
WOD
This
life,
is
aren't you?
CrossFit.
You're living the WOD life.
You're doing cardio. You're doing weightlifting.
Oh, but because I do it a little bit
Are
smarter.
you excited for the CrossFit Games that's coming up? Come on.
Are they coming up?
Yeah, what do you call the thing? What's the thing you do?
The open is
yeah,
in like a
you're
couple of
in
weeks,
for the
so-
opens, aren't you?
Yeah,
Definitely not.
Yeah, you're opening.
I will say.
he'll open right up for this.
he's
I'll
opening.
open
up.
right-
Let's go.
I did a 400 meter sprint, 400 meter walk.
If you use the word
interval.
AMRAP next, then we totally know you're doing it.
But we use the AMRAP in powerlifting.
Yeah, and
You guys are just.
Did you do a burpee?
No, maybe once. No, I haven't actually. That burpees are like where I draw the line because I won't do it. Even at like Redcliffe, we don't do burpees. We do body drops, which is just dropping to the floor and standing back up. Obviously, a burpee's just with the push up and jump. But I'm like, why don't we just do burpees? And like one of the coaches goes, that's CrossFit. And I'm like, whoa, wow, bro.
And was he wrong?
No, it's not. It's right. Anyways, but do you enjoy the gymnastics side of CrossFit, the ollie lifting side of CrossFit, or just the whole thing? Because it's like when you throw that at someone brand new to the industry, it can be a lot to kind of try and master.
I think what attracted me to it in the first place was the gymnastics. And then after like doing a little bit of CrossFit stuff, I wanted to explore more of the weightlifting. So I started seeing an ollie lifting coach, and that was how I kind of got sucked down that rabbit hole. So I've never actually really trained CrossFit the way most CrossFitters train CrossFit. Like I've always just done gymnastics practice, ollie lifting practice, cardio stuff, strength stuff. Like I've always done it way more separately. I don't just metcon for the sake of metconning, you know?
But now, for anyone listening who takes offense to this, is that why you're quite good at it though? Do you think? And why you picked it up so quickly? Because you had all these skills that everyone tries to do initially, but because you did separately, you could go, okay, well, I need this portion from the strength aspect. I need this skill from the metcon, all this sort of stuff.
I think so. Like, yeah, I think there's a lot of merit to, like, we know skills training works better when you do it specifically and carefully and like all of those types of things. Whereas a lot of the time in CrossFit, you're doing 30 snatches for time, which is not going to be the same as like intentional lifting at a load that is challenging. Like the same way that you're not going to get like an amazing squat technique by doing wobbles, right? Like it doesn't work.
Translate.
No. So I do think that was part of how in that first year I kind of like rose up to like nothing impressive, but like a decent level within the field of like, I caught up all of the time that I hadn't had. And that's why people think I've been doing CrossFit for like 10 years. And I'm like, no, I just had a really good first year. Like just kind of like caught up quickly because I focused on the things I needed to focus on, which are the main bottlenecks in CrossFit, which is the gymnastics and the ollie lifting.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, because it's so high skill, but if you don't put the time into the actual skill component, you're not going to get past that barrier, right?
Exactly. And the fitness stuff, like you can just do that any way you want, right? Like there's not that much skill in like a dumbbell snatch.
Yeah.
You're going to figure that out. Like you'll be fine. That's not going to be the thing that slows you down.
But it's interesting because like a lot of your content, which, you know, obviously started following yourself, and I love your content because it is so skill based, which you don't see a lot of that in CrossFit. Like a lot of it's just like, this is the what, or this is what we need to do for time, whatever it is you said before. But a lot of your content is specifically targeted around, this is the skill or how we get better at this skill. And it just seems to, what was the point, and my actual point in this conversation, what was the point at which you just went from like, okay, you started CrossFit, PTing, all this sort of stuff, and then your Instagram just blew up? What was the post? You remember it? Because like you're rolling like what 50k followers or something, which I know like social media and everything, but like bruh.
Well, I mean that happened really fast as well. So like the 1st of January 2023, so just over a year ago, I had 7k followers.
Holy fuck!
So like that whole growth was just last year.
Yeah, same.
And I and I only started
you blew
posting
up overnight.
Yeah.
Don't forget us when you've got 400,000 followers.
I won't.
Yeah.
He'll still be there loving on Niv. Like,
yeah, I'll be like, I'm your third wheel now forever.
No. I'm the third wheel.
Sorry, I forgot about that. You are the third wheel.
Yeah. So I think I started posting CrossFit stuff in like maybe September in 2022.
Yeah, wow.
And I just kind of like, I think I was at like maybe 2,000 followers then, and it just slowly grew. And like that first 5,000 came in the first few months, and then it just like just went. And I honestly don't remember which post was like the post.
Yeah.
But I remember there were a few like early handstand ones, and they just like went viral. Like I know I hit 1 million on at least one of them in the first few months, and I was just like, whoa, that's crazy. Like 1 million just like people watched this thing that I did. That's insane. And like dopamine, like I was like, whoa, I made a thing. Like that's cool. So I think that was like motivation, those first few posts that like did reasonably well, that helped. And like I still do posts that crash and burn and don't get any engagement, but I think once you've done a few like that, you kind of get encouraged to keep going, and then you can learn from it a little bit more.
Did you have a plan for it, or were you just throwing stuff out into the internet?
No, I was really throw shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Sick.
And that's also what I mean about like my audience guided what I do, because like they also influenced how I create that content, because I know kind of like what the things I do that are different to most other gymnastics coaches on the internet.
But that's really good, because you respond like a lot of people just put content out, and like the normal narrative is, you know, just put content out, see what sticks, see what what niche you want to go down. But you really responded to your audience, which could only have captured, could only have helped grow it quicker, because they go, oh my god, this person really understands, but also wants to trust us.
Yeah, and I think like I don't know if that was what built trust. I think the thing that helped with, I think there are two things that help with connection. One of them is that I use really weird cues. Like the way that I think about movements just must be different to like most coaches, because people always say like, oh, your cues make so much sense to me, or like I've never heard about it spoken that way, or like this was different to how I've been taught. Like everyone always says it's different. And to me, I'm just like, no, that's just how I think about it. Like, all 4 brain cells came together for that one. Like I don't know, but I think that's probably one of the things is like people who prefer that style of coaching come to my page and they stay. And like I'm sure there's millions of people that don't get it, but that's fine, they're not my people. And then the second thing that I think helped with like connection is I will occasionally do just like quite a personal post. And I think there's pros and cons to that. Like it is a little bit like, I don't know, like heart on my sleeve, blah, blah, blah. But I also then like, I'll be in a client call, like a consultation for the first time, and people will be like, I like that one post you did about XYZ is what made me decide to come to you. Like you understand this thing about how I feel, or how I like my food thing or my training thing. And like, I know you get it because you posted about it. So I think that was probably like from a trust specific perspective, that was probably more of it.
Makes you human.
Yeah. And I try really hard on my stories not to just be like constantly happy all the time. Like I try to be a little bit more like good days, bad days. Look at me failing on this 8 times before I get it right. Like I try not to be way authentic. Too like, green tick everything.
Gotta be real.
Yeah, I try.
You do well.
Thanks.
Clearly.
So predominantly your client base is all online sort of stuff? Is that what's
mostly, yeah. I was doing more PTs in New Zealand than I am now.
You do still do some face-to-face stuff?
Yeah, I do. It's pretty much just members at the gym that I coach CrossFit at that will be like, hey, I want some bar muscle up help or whatever. So like I do a few PTs a week now instead of like 10 to 12 or 10 to 15 or whatever.
Yeah, right. And then just the rest are online.
Yeah.
Still predominantly back in New Zealand?
No, all over the world.
Yeah, mad.
Like US, Canada. I still have some in New Zealand, quite a few in Europe. Like I randomly have like 3 people in Germany. Like random places.
How do you go with the language barrier in those countries? Because I know a lot of them would speak English, but because I got a couple in Qatar, sorry. And it's the broken English that like is probably the hardest part to get around, because like they'll you try and articulate something, but then you got to think of it in a different way. How do you go around dealing with that?
In 2-way comms, like if we're on a call or something like that, it's pretty easy to judge whether they understood something. And if I get the kind of like blank eyes, I'll just say the same thing again differently. And if it's a 1-way communication, like a Loom where I'm watching their video, I'll be like, blah, 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 said a different way, blah, 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 said a different way, blah, 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 and hope that one of those 3 things makes sense. And then I'll just be like, clarify that one of those 3 worked for you.
That's actually really like good on your part. I haven't heard of many coaches going, all right, try it this way, or this way for the same thing without like, I mean, we do that essentially when people don't get it, but we get that feedback first.
Yeah, but also most coaches are monolingual. Whereas like I spent some time, I did an exchange in Mexico and I learned some Spanish. So like I know how helpful it is when some people will be like, blah, blah, blah. And you just don't get it. And then they say it again differently. You're like, okay, I got enough words out of that I can make meaning.
So before we go any further, is there any other hidden talents or like things you do? Like how many languages can you speak? All that sort of stuff.
Oh, no, I really only speak like 1.3 languages now. Like I used to speak decent Spanish, but it's been so long. Like
I'm almost at 1.
Yeah, I'm
Almost.
I'm
I think
0.9.
I've almost got this one.
yeah, so you're doing
Like
well.
verbally,
Yeah.
like written 0.5.
I speak
Written-
American.
That was funny. I was like, oh yeah. I was like,
I
what?
like how long I watched the
I was
cogs
like,
turn
what do
real
you
slow.
mean?
I speak freedom units. I can
Yeah.
do feet and inches.
Yeah, you can.
When you literally said American, I was like, what? They speak? Oh,
Oh,
They do
it's
talk a
shit
little
joke.
different
I
though.
get it.
they do.
They do what?
They do talk a little different over there.
Yeah.
I remember trying to buy petrol at a petrol station when I was in California, and I just gave that human a lot of Australian words,
Nice.
and he stared back at me like, "What do you want?"
He probably didn't even know what petrol was, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. It's weird.
You want gas?
Yeah, I was like, "I need that to work in the car. It don't work."
It's like
I like that I was
trouble.
in California as well. I feel like California
Yeah.
would be one of the places you'd get
Oh.
better.
But when I was in Miami, we went like our accommodation was like in Little Havana, and went to this grocery store. And look, Little Havana obviously quite high Spanish speaking, I guess. I think that's the language.
Yeah, you would definitely get a lot of Spanish speakers in
Yeah.
Florida.
Anyways, grocery store lady spoke to me in Spanish, and I just literally looked at her and was like, sorry, I didn't know what to say. Like I literally just I panicked because I was like, this is an English speaking country, and then she literally just looked at me like I was an idiot and just goes $13, and I was like, oh, I feel real bad. But then I did it all the time in Italy though, because like I tried to speak Italian. I just tried my best to like not accommodate. That's the wrong word. I just feel like they're always accommodating for tourists. I was like, I will try and speak their language. And I remember we went to this like cafe first morning we were there, and I was like, due cannoli, and she looked at me. She's like, so you want 2? And I was like, it was that bad, eh? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, we'll just do the English.
Thank you for the 2.
Yep. Didn't try the rest of the trip to speak Italian. I was like,
Are you Italian? Like
Yeah.
heritage? Yeah.
I didn't learn it though. Never really, which was weird because like I even went to like a
Buongiorno.
buongiorno,
There we go.
bella,
You mangi il pesce.
sure, and then I just never knew it. My grandparents spoke it all the time.
And you just never.
I don't know. I was like one of those kids that I was real ignorant. Like I was very ignorant as a child that they were like. Because we didn't really travel as kids either. Like I knew I was Italian, but that's as far as I got. Like I didn't realize how hard other languages were. Like we did Japanese in school and shit, but I was like, fuck that. It was a good language. I wish I knew it. I wish I stuck with it because I think there's a lot of opportunities over in Japan that I could have taken advantage of if I had the language from a sporting perspective and like just even like because I was studying teaching for a little bit, like teaching English over there. It would have been unreal, but no.
No.
Not that I'm not mad that I ended up here. It's just like
On this couch, you mean?
yeah, 100%. Like everything. This couch is so comfy, so I love this couch. Yeah, I just wish I did learn another language because there's so many opportunities for bilingual.
But it's about to disappear. You don't need to do it anymore. Google's fixing that.
Yeah, it's all going to be
that's
sorted
true.
for you.
Google's phone now will hear the language. So you speak English, you speak Chinese, right? It'll deliver you Chinese.
Get fucked.
That's awesome.
That's what's coming.
That's
so
crazy.
like the concept of requiring another language
oh my
almost
God.
disappears completely. Other than, well, I guess face-to-face chat, but I'm sure the next thing will be a wearable that you and me sit there and talk to each other
Different languages.
and we both get the language we want.
That's actually fucked.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's coming.
But it's insane.
It's already there. I mean, it's on the Google phone or whatever it is.
Yes.
That's so insane.
Do you
yeah.
speak any other languages?
I've got Australian
Yeah,
really
nice.
locked down.
Really good?
Really strongly locked down.
Yeah, okay.
I've been called Kiwi a few times when
Really?
yeah,
Why?
because I hang out with all the Kiwis at Prince Charles.
Yeah.
So I got a side hustle where I do some security work at Prince Charles Hospital, and there was a period where the majority were Kiwis.
We're Kiwi.
And I'd just be working shift for them all the time. And I'd just be picking up their just slang and their wording, pronunciations.
What's your favorite Kiwi slang?
Oh, you put me on the spot. I don't even know.
Oh, that's okay. Can I have a Kiwi impression?
Or you, bro?
Oh, perfect.
That was pretty good.
That was actually pretty close. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
a
it.
couple of night shifts for those lads.
Yeah,
And I am Kiwi.
you are.
He
Honorary.
walked back
Absolutely.
in. Jaylee's like, what the fuck?
Literally.
Really?
You'd have patients ask, they'd be like, oh, where are you from? I was like, they're from New Zealand? New Zealand, bro? I was like, yeah, bro, New Zealand.
Where are you from, sir? Oh, I'm from Brisbane.
I'm from around.
Yeah,
the
I'm
corner.
just from the Mata.
Yeah, like I actually just born up the road, to be honest.
So what's the vision for AnnaWishFitness for 2024?
First half of the year is all dedicated to like my stuff with Eugene Teo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
That was
say that
really
like
cool.
anyone doesn't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Can we have him on the podcast sometime?
Yeah, he'd be an interesting one. He's
Yeah.
so jacked.
We slipped into his DMs once. He just left us on scene.
Did you?
Yeah.
He's a legend. He's so nice.
He seems
Seems awesome.
lovely.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful.
He's
How did
also really funny.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. Like I thought he'd be like kind of funny, and then when I met him in person, I was like, "Oh my god, you sly dog!" Like dark humor is great.
Oh, who doesn't love that?
That's my favorite.
How did you start
a
working
very
with
funny
him?
Man. He slid into my DMs. When was that? Like middle of the year last year, because he was looking for collaborators for the Gambler app.
Yep.
And he messaged me, and I assumed it was a mistake. I was like, "There's no way Eugene Teo, who I have like followed for the last I don't even know how long, like watched heaps of his content.
Yep.
There's no way he's just messaged me. Like clearly he was trying to aim for someone else.
Yep.
Because AnnaWishFitness is so like, and like even your real like your AnnaWishNowski. Did I pronounce it?
Close enough, yeah.
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 Like, how do you pronounce it?
I mean, it's Wishnowsky, but
Well, what?
it's like it's not a now. But I also let people get away with it because like it's long and difficult.
But
So
say it again, but slower.
Wishnowsky.
Let's do it again.
Wishnowsky.
Wishnowsky.
Yeah.
Wishnowsky.
And
Okay.
if you hear a European say it, they'll say Wishnowsky. With
Wishnowsky.
like a V.
Oh, okay. Well, it's definitely not how it's spelled, anyways.
Which is why I go by Wish.
Yeah, that makes
Because
more
everything
sense.
else is too hard.
But like, there's not many Anna Wishnowskis on
No.
Instagram. So if they're, I think he would have purposely typed you in.
Nah, I reckon he just like stumbled across a reel. I reckon he just like one of them popped up in his feed and he was like, "That's
Why don't you-
weird." Click. Like,
Yeah.
Why don't you ask him?
That'll work.
I should probably ask him at some
Yeah,
point.
like, hey, how'd you find me?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, so he,
Anyway, he slid in my DMs.
Yep.
And it was basically like asking if I was interested in collaborating with him, and I
Yep.
was like, "Duh."
Yeah.
What do you mean? Tell me where to be and when. And I replied, and then he didn't. Like he didn't even see it. Like there was just nothing for like a month. And this was, I think Katrina was in like her 7.5 month of pregnancy or something, and I had been following his story, so I knew. And so I didn't really want to bother him. I was like, I know this is like a really hectic time. He's working on this big update for the app, and his wife is like not super well, and they're trying, like there was so much stuff going on that I was like, oh, I don't want to be that annoying person who's like, hi, fitness stuff. And so like a month later, I just messaged him and was like, hey, like I know your life's a real full on right now. Just let me know if you want me to follow this up or if I should just like let you be. And he replied and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot about this. Can you Zoom tomorrow?
No.
And I was like, yes, cancel everything.
Send me the link.
Yeah, tell me where to be. And that was it. He was just like, I don't even know what I want you to do in the app. Let me know if you're interested. We'll figure out something and make you slot in. So we came up with a couple of ideas of stuff that I could put in the app, and he was like, yeah, that'll work.
See,
And then
that's hectic.
So what
went
have you
and
got in
filmed
the
it.
app for those playing at home?
At the moment, when's this podcast coming out?
Next Wednesday.
Okay. There's
7th.
4 programs in the app right now: toes to bar, handstand basics, handstand walk, and the pillar, which is like a gymnastics basics entry to doing gymnastics stuff, primarily aimed at people who have done gym things before but not gymnastics things before. So it's like a how to find your way into gymnastics if you're a bit curious. But coming soon, we've got 3 freebies dropping in like I really hope 2 weeks if I can get my shit together. And we've got a train along coming very soon after that. So that should be ready to go in like March.
Cool.
So that will just follow like really close to what I'm doing in my training, and people will be able to just hop on the app and train, not with me, but with me.
Yeah. Wow.
That's really cool.
That's super
I'm
rad.
so excited. It's going to be great. I'm flying down on Saturday next week to go and do filming and stuff
Really?
for it. Yeah, because Will was going down for like concerts, and he was going to do some filming with Eugene, and then Eugene was just like, "Can you join?" And I was like,
Dude, I'm in Melbourne next weekend.
Yeah, I know. Niv said, but it's just I'm not going to see you. There's no way.
No, but what flight are you going down on?
Oh, Saturday morning on like I don't even know.
We'll
It's
talk
like
about
8
that after.
a.m. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
find it
No,
later.
I fly a little bit later. But what was I gonna? I'm actually gonna clip this part of the podcast up and just send it to Eugene, just so he can watch how excited you got about that whole scene where you're like, "Oh my god, he messaged me!" Wow.
He'll be like, "What a fucking fangirl!
Yeah, literally. I was like,
What a loser!
It's like, and he's like, deleted.
Get rid of her." No, it was the weirdest. It was so like,
That's
you know,
pretty
those
cool.
moments in your
Yeah.
career where you're like, this is surreal. Like, because I've followed his stuff since I started lifting. Like,
Mm.
he was one of those people that I was like, this is the standard. This is how content creation should work. He's like authentic.
Mm.
He's believable. It's informative. And when I was doing my content planning in early last year, me and my partner were laying out like, what are the pieces that I think are important, and like, what are the what would you call it, like, what are the sort of like lenses and caricatures that you want to be? And we highlighted different like archetypes.
Mm.
And I was like, I want to be more of a sage archetype than a hero archetype, because so many fitness people become the hero archetype, and it's like, look at me, look how strong I am, look how hot I am. And I was just like, no, that's not authentic to me. So we were looking at like, who are other sage archetypes in the industry, people who are like likable, believable, but their main thing is like informative, like, here is my value for you. And he was the top of the list.
Yeah, wow.
And then weirdly, it was like 7 months later, he was in my DMs, and I was like,
I'm in.
what?
That's mad.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It's still great.
His app's humongous.
It's a great app. There's so much stuff in there. Like,
It's crazy.
it's unreal the number of programs that are in there now.
Yep.
And like good
Yeah,
ass
yours are there.
coaches.
Mm.
And me.
You are a good ass coach.
Yeah, just like so many options in that app, and just like it's pretty cool.
Mm.
Question, tied back a little bit. I know we're kind of doubling back here, but like the gymnastic stuff you do, what application and how have you seen the results of people who have been heavily strength based before learning some of these gymnastic skills? How has it translated back into their strength work?
Good question. And I'm going to tie it into one of your other questions as well, which was like, what's the plan for me this year?
Yeah.
So the second half of the year, so first half of the year, I'm like, get my shit done for Gambaru, like pump that. Second half of the year, I want to do a little bit more like coach to coach stuff, which is explaining like, what is the value of gymnastics in training, even for something like powerlifting? Like, how can we microdose this stuff to help with that stuff, or at least to like keep our athletes healthy, interested, sane, all of those types of things, like having some fun. So one of the things that I'm writing at the moment,
My
did you just
shoulders
break yourself?
cracked. Yeah, I was like, fuck me, that was loud.
So one of the things I'm writing at the moment is like I guess it's like what is it? It's a technical model for how I think gymnastics training works and what I think the key benefits are of gymnastics training for all athletes. So not only will I have an answer to that question, but I'll have it in like PDF form really soon.
Like an ebook.
It will be an ebook at first, and then from there, I've just started doing some programming for another CrossFit gyms, like gymnastics classes.
That's cool.
So I'll be able to do that as an offering for other CrossFit gyms later this year.
That's a great.
I
idea.
think, depending on if it goes well with this one
That's awesome,
gym
though.
that's guinea pigging it.
Yep. Brilliant.
But the things that are in that like PDF at the moment are like fun and variety, which I think is so important, especially in a sport like powerlifting, where like it is sick, but it's 3 lifts.
Yeah, it's very monotonous.
Like,
You mean
it
squat,
can
bench,
be.
and deadlift every day is not exciting for everybody?
Well, weirdly enough, there are people outside of that world. Yeah.
No, not to not to
Not for Johnny. So I think
Have you ever done another sport?
I did gymnastics for a couple of years.
Oh,
did
really?
you?
Yeah, I trained it when my back was fucked. It was
Oh,
mad
that's
fun.
cool.
I loved it.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like that bit where you're talking about it can sprinkle it into powerlifting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
I loved it.
Love
That's
that.
mad.
All I wanted to do was a handstand.
Yeah, right. Did you get there?
I was too scared. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
like being upside down.
Yeah.
I could do it if my coach helped me, like was there, like keeping me safe.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a muscle up and a handstand. Nailed the muscle up.
Do you want to come to my workshop? In a
I was
couple
literally
weeks?
about to, I was literally about to promote that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Come
Workshop's
along.
on.
It'll be
It's
fun.
25th of February. It's a Sunday, which means I can come.
Lismore comp. I'll come to the next one.
Okay, fair enough.
But yes, absolutely.
sure
I
we'll
love
go
it. And I can advocate for that
Yeah.
immensely because I'd hurt my back. I got fucking over the sport of powerlifting and needed to do
Yeah.
something that wasn't. I love coaching it, but I just need to not do it. And gymnastics landed with a coach who was extraordinary.
So good.
And like, I got to, I mean, the big thing for me, I had a shitty core. So we did all this stuff, learning how to get good core stability and strength to be upside down and do all the other stuff. And lo and behold, that turned out that was really handy for
It's
a back
pretty good.
injury, right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Who
Yeah.
would have
Sure.
thought? And that was kind of one of the reasons I went there. I wanted to do something a bit more exciting than Pilates and something
Yeah.
entertaining and set some new goals. And
Yeah.
But it was sick. And like even today, like those skills I still use. I got rings on my balcony. That's what I use for dips
Cool.
and stuff like that. And like
Fun.
core stuff that I did back then that's perfect for an accessory day.
Yeah.
I think.
And what were because this is one of the other things that I think is like strength in weird positions. What were the things that surprised you how hard they were?
Oh, everything was hard.
Everything.
And I wasn't surprised. I had no doubt everything was hard. Like even doing, we used to do like inchworms, I guess, or caterpillar walks that he'd want me to do. They fucked me up hard because I had to be in a certain position with my body the whole time, do certain things with my hands as I walked out to the thing. Any of that sort of stuff was probably the thing that surprised me, like having to be in the exact position he wanted me. Yeah, like destroyed me.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I think like
it was mad fun. I loved it.
From an outside perspective, like I haven't done any gymnastics. Like I'm interested because I would love, and I think all us powerlifters could definitely learn how to control our own, I guess, for lack of a better word, like our own body and load before we add external load. If we can get that control when you add external load, it just becomes so much more easier.
Yeah. And that's the third thing on the list.
Yeah.
So we've already said fun and weird positional strength and like awareness of where your body is in space.
Massive.
I think that's a huge one. Even the positional strength pieces, like never will you see a power lifter do like a straight arm bicep curl. And there's so much of that in gymnastics, like locked elbows, use your biceps in weird positions. And it's like unbelievable. And I coach people who do Olympic weightlifting and stuff. And I'm like, do I know for sure that this prevents elbow injuries? No. Do I think it's a good idea to have strong ass elbow tendons if you're snatching all the time? Probably.
Yeah.
You know, like there's so many of those little transfer pieces that we sometimes can and often probably can't identify that like are really helpful. And then one of the other ones is movement exploration. So like different ranges, mobility, training the ability to like retain your positions at those end ranges.
But surely like it doesn't seem like too much of a jump to think, well, if I'm exposing my tendons, ligaments to different positions, like obviously it's going to carry over to less injury. Like
Should do.
That shouldn't be too much of a jump to go. That makes sense.
And
like,
with our
you know
sport
what
of powerlifting,
Yeah.
it's so specific. We're so stuck in a certain plane
Yes.
of movement the whole time we move. We just move literally the same way every single time.
And honestly, it's more like, I mean, that's why I've started doing different things, going into triple extension with our power cleans and trying to go overhead more. Like, yes, we still get some of that. No, we wouldn't get really triple extension in powerlifting, but those little things have just added so much more variety to my training.
Yeah.
But also a lot more enjoyment. And it's all going to carry over greatly.
Yeah.
Like even Will Crozier now, one of the best powerlifters in the world, I see him doing different stuff.
He does heaps of ollie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And gymnasty stuff. He was messaging me about Zanetti presses, that bicep thing the other day.
Exactly. So I think there's so much merit to it. But, and look, I've been guilty of it as well. But when you're in powerlifting, it's powerlifting or nothing. But if we can explore and open up that world just a little bit more,
of things worth
100%,
looking at and pulling into your programming.
100%.
And then the last one that I'll add, just because it's almost complete, and I would feel like I need that last infinity stone, is like
You just
rhythm and
quoted
timing.
Marvel, we just became best friends.
Yeah, I did.
Yep. Sorry. Anyways,
That was beautiful.
You-
I felt the eye contact. It
Oh, bro!
warmed
I was
up.
like, you said Infinity Stones, and I was like,
I'm just
yeah,
gonna
we'll
snap
talk,
and you'll be
yeah.
done. Anyway, is rhythm and timing. So like
yes.
gymnastics, not every movement obviously, but kipping movements, any kind of thing where you're like rolling, timing, snapping, jumping, like all of those things do require rhythm. And powerlifting is a deeply arrhythmic sport. Like you don't bench with rhythm, you don't squat with rhythm. Like you go down, you go up. That's it. And like people are strong as hell doing that, but it doesn't require that extra level of like timing and stuff like that. So I think from a coordination perspective and being able to transfer your movement understanding from thing to thing, I suspect rhythm is probably something that is hard to train if you're not doing anything rhythmic, and gymnastics gives you a lot of like really fun options to explore rhythm as a concept, as well as weightlifting. Like I think they can work together quite well.
100%. I think it just all comes down to just becoming a more complete athlete. Because we just get stuck in these strength athlete helmets or with hats. I don't know why the fuck
Helmets?
I said helmet.
Helmets.
I think it's a helmet.
Why the fuck
Honestly,
did I say helmet?
I don't know,
think
but
it's
I
a
feel
helmet.
like I need a
I feel
helmet
like it's
after
a
time.
helmet.
I'm doing
It's definitely a
myself.
helmet.
Yeah.
It's a helmet. It's a nice helmet.
Well, it's safety, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Anyways, for everyone listening, watching, I'm sorry.
No, it's a helmet.
No, I liked
Thank
it.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Give me my weightlifting helmet.
fuck.
Yeah. I need one for weightlifting.
Anyways, I super digressed after the helmet thing,
Mm.
but I forgot what I was going to say. That happens all the time.
I got 10 things to say.
Yeah, we got 10 questions for you.
Oh, okay.
Right, to end the... Well, this is to
Is
give...
this like a rapid fire?
Yes.
Real
Oh my God.
rapid.
Yeah, 100%. You knew that.
Yeah, like every podcast does this.
Does it? No.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
How's it
That is
better?
not like it's a unique thing.
How's it better?
I didn't think like it was a unique thing. I just like thought you may have... Anyways, I'm going to go cry in the corner. Cause...
Favorite takeaway food?
With a helmet.
What is your favorite takeaway food?
Oh,
Oh, that's a good one.
Zeus. I really like Zeus.
Greek.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a
Delightful.
good one. Yep.
Favorite way to celebrate?
It's just like generally.
Yeah, generally. When you have a win.
Oh,
Oh.
like
Just
a
a-
win in the gym or something
Oh,
like that.
A win in life, whatever.
A win in life.
Something's worth celebrating.
Oh. Honestly, I just want to go to the beach with my partner most of the time. That's my favorite thing in the world.
Shit, yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
Lame.
What
Also
city are you
cute.
born in?
Sorry?
What city are you born in?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Oh, that's cool.
Is
Dri-
it?
Just because it's like...
This is like middle America. It's full of corn and race cars.
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Dream car?
Things that go forward and backward.
Mm.
No preference.
Nickname?
Oh my God. All the ones that I can think of are really inappropriate and I probably shouldn't say them.
No, you can say anything on this podcast.
I can say it. The one that popped into my head. Jesus Christ. I used to live in a flat and there were like 8 of us and they were all boys and me
In one flat.
in one flat. It was full on. New Zealand's very expensive to live in. Anyway,
I've heard that.
they all used to call me Mum, and that was a really common one. And then at one point they started calling me One Hole, and I will never ever forget that. I'm One Hole.
I love that.
I was like, that's not even fair. I have multiple holes. Some of them are useful.
Well,
Brandon's putting his helmet on. He's so uncomfortable.
I was just
Brandon
like,
doesn't
that
know
was
what to
not
do
what
with
I
it.
expected.
It was the only one that popped in my head. I was like, oh, I can really go for something cute. Or
All
Yeah,
in.
nothing that Niv calls me.
What question would you like to ask future self?
Oh, that's a good one.
that's a good question. What will I waste time worrying about?
Oh, yeah, good one.
That's a good answer to a good question.
Ever experienced a life-changing event?
Have I?
Hmm.
A few. How much time have we got?
I mean, I've got heaps.
I got nothing to do.
Okay.
Kendra's napping.
I just got a program.
Me and Niv went traveling in 2018, and I picked up we're not entirely sure exactly what happened, but think of it as a parasite.
Yeah.
I got mega sick
Yep.
for years.
Ugh.
That's a life-changing event.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Yep.
Favorite word to say?
Yeet.
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 Like you yeeted something.
What's
Like you yeet something.
Yeah.
What's yeet mean?
It means
For someone who's a bit older and doesn't know what that is.
Yeah.
um
It's like give it a good red hot crack. Like he yeeted it.
like you yeet you throw something real hard, or you like yeet yourself into a wall in a handstand, or you like
Yeet the bar
it
from the
implies
floor.
velocity.
Yeah,
and
that's a good way to-
aggression.
I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna yeet.
I think
Johnny's a
you
bit
should yeet.
older.
Okay,
Well,
yeet.
I just gathered that in
Yeah.
that moment.
He doesn't look it, but he is, yeah.
Wait, really? No, go back. How old are you?
How old do you believe?
I would have said 31.
And I'll take that. Thank
Oh
you.
my God, really?
Why? How old
You're
are
now
you?
my best friend.
No, wait till you...
42. 40.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm 43 soon.
Yeah, you're next... Well, not next week, the week
Are you
after.
like a
yeah.
religious sunscreen user?
No. I am now, like, absolutely.
Yeah, but like everyone
weird
does
how
that
I
too
that's
in
spent
life,
yeah.
a
right?
lot of time at the beach surfing and did not.
Wow.
Yeah, he's...
You've done really well with your skin.
Thank you. My routine is the soap
Yeah.
goes on my head and
Nice.
then it travels
Just the whole
down.
thing, just all the way
It
around.
works its
Yeah.
way down.
Beautiful.
Favorite photo of all time?
Is a photo of me and my cousin and my cousin's partner Mayo on Hanging Rock in the Blue Mountains, which is a
Cool.
sick ass hike. Actually, that's a lie. The hike itself is boring as sin, but then you get to the end and you're like in a canyon and you have to like jump over a gap that if you miss that, you'll fall to your death for like 300 meters. And you're like out on this cliff that extends into this canyon in the Blue Mountains. It was sick. And we
And
have
you-
like a
you jumped it?
photo. Yeah, I did. It's not even like, it's like less than 2 meters. Like you wouldn't even,
Less than 2. That's,
you wouldn't
that's,
think
that's
about
more
it.
than 1 meter.
It's more than 1 meter. So
You
like
don't like heights,
on
do
the
you?
floor, you'd never be like, oh, that's a big jump. But when it's like, you'll die if you miss it, it feels like a really big jump.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So I have a photo of like me and my cousin and my partner, or my cousin's partner out there on the rock. And it's like, it's just cool. It
You
makes
gotta
me
jump
happy.
and come back too.
Yeah, both ways.
Fuck that.
Niv took that photo. He didn't jump.
That's fair.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's smarter than us.
Yeah. All right, look, that's... Yeah.
What will be your big adventure for 2024 be?
This is not a big adventure. This is just a thing that I'm doing, which is like, I feel like I want to spend a lot of time learning a lot more about gymnastics to be able to execute on the things that I think people think I can do at the moment. I need to catch up my brain
Yep.
to where like my Instagram profile / career has hit. Like it's all happened so fast, and I still am in that like insecure space of like, I don't know enough for what I'm doing. I need so much more.
Nice.
So
Good
that's
space
like,
to be, though, from the perspective that it forces you to learn everything.
yeah,
Like, a lot of people, say that's a bad thing. It's like, I get it. Imposter syndrome can be debilitating sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you can look at it from that perspective, it's so powerful.
yeah, 100%. So just spend time in a real gymnastics gym and
Sick.
learn all the shit that I can, do all the courses available, meet smart people,
They're mad fun.
try
Just real
hard.
quickly, though, before we wrap up, the other week she came to the gym and she's like, yeah, so my cousins just stopped weight training because they said it was too easy and they just got too jacked.
Yeah, that was a conversation that we had. It was real funny.
Which is like, obviously, look at the
Damn.
fucking jackness on you, but like,
Damn. Cousin needs to really get into it.
yeah, like imagine. I was like,
He'd be a weapon, eh?
This is his
bro, like,
time.
come on. Like,
I hate it when I'm too jacked. It
Oh.
just drives me bonkers.
I know.
They were just like, this isn't very gratifying.
It's just
oh,
It's
how
like-
da-
It's just like, yeah, you just kind of like, you get kind of jacked and then you just like, it
dude,
stays.
look at your calf right now on the fucking screen.
Yeah, that's also because I'm like bouncing my legs like
No,
a
but
little
they
child.
didn't change. They just got bigger.
Damn.
Anyways,
That's it. 10 of them
Should
done.
we
that-
remeasure them?
no. Against what? Like, anywho. But do the social thing. Where can people find you? How can they get in contact, whether it be for more gymnastics information or coaching?
CrossFit.
CrossFit, Ollie.
All the things.
Mm.
Find me on Instagram at AnnaWishFitness, on TikTok at Coach AnnaWish, on my website, annawish.net, or come to City 4051 CrossFit in Chermside, Brisbane, and you can do some gymnasty things or CrossFit things, or come to my weightlifting class every Thursday night.
Sick.
I'm gonna just say, like, the good thing, like, what I like about CrossFit is how they all use their postcode. So it sounds like real gangster, like CrossFit 4501, whatever it was.
Yeah, you know what's great though is like the gym moved, so the postcode is wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's not Chermside.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Anywho, you just got called out that CrossFit gym.
4051.